Welcome to our channel English Avenue. Today I speak a story.
It was a chilly morning when Ali's alarm rang at 5 a.m. His body begged him to stay under the blanket, but his mind reminded him of the promise he had made to himself: no excuses. Ali had always dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur, but for years, his laziness and excuses had held him back. "I'll start tomorrow," he would say. Or, "I'm too tired today, I'll do it later." Days turned into months, and months into years. His friends moved forward in their lives, while Ali felt stuck in the same place. One evening, after failing at yet another attempt to start his business, he sat alone in his room. Frustration filled his heart. He picked up a book on self-improvement that a friend had gifted him. On the first page, in bold letters, it read, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure." Those words struck him deeply. That night, he promised himself that things would change. No more excuses. The next day, Ali created a plan. He would wake up early, exercise, learn new skills daily, and work consistently on his business idea. At first, it was hard. His mind kept whispering, "Just rest, you deserve a break." But he reminded himself of the pain of wasted years. With every small victory, finishing a workout, reading a chapter, making progress on his business, Ali's confidence grew. Weeks turned into months, and Ali noticed a transformation. He was more energetic, focused, and determined. His business, once just an idea, started taking shape. Soon, his small online store began attracting customers. Friends and family asked him, "What's your secret?" Ali would smile and reply, "There's no secret. It's just self-discipline. I stopped giving myself excuses." Years later, Ali's business grew into a successful company. But more importantly, he had mastered himself. He realized that discipline was not about punishing yourself. It was about loving yourself enough to do what needed to be done. Ali's journey became a living example of how powerful self-discipline can be. He proved that success doesn't require extraordinary talent or luck. It requires consistency, persistence, and the courage to say, "No excuses." Ali was not a stranger to dreams. He dreamed of owning a business, of building something that would give him freedom and pride. But for years, his dreams remained trapped in his head because every time he tried to act, his comfort got in the way. He would set his alarm for 5 a.m., but when it rang, he would silence it and say, "Just 5 more minutes." Those 5 minutes always turned into an hour. When he planned to exercise, his body would whisper, "You're too tired, you deserve rest." When it came to working on his business, his mind would say, "Maybe tomorrow, today you don't feel inspired." One evening, sitting in his dimly lit room, he realized how much time he had wasted. His friends had progressed in life, while he had stayed in the same spot, chained by his own excuses. He opened his journal and wrote only one sentence: "I will never grow if I keep choosing what's easy." The next morning, his alarm rang again at 5 a.m. His body still begged him to sleep, but this time he forced himself out of bed. The cold water on his face was uncomfortable, but it woke him up. He laced up his shoes and went for a short run. Every step felt heavy, but with every step he felt stronger inside. That first morning was a battle, but it gave him a glimpse of something powerful: control over himself. For the first time, he didn't let comfort win. And that small victory gave him the confidence to try again the next day. Soon, Ali built a habit. Each time his mind whispered excuses, he answered with action. If he felt too tired, he still exercised. If he didn't feel like studying, he opened the book anyway. If he lacked motivation, he reminded himself that discipline was stronger than mood. Days turned into weeks, and the change became visible. He was sharper, more focused, and his energy grew. His business idea, which had only been words on paper, slowly started to become real. By refusing to give in to excuses, Ali was building momentum. His friends began to notice. They asked how he had changed so much. Ali simply smiled and said, "I just stopped negotiating with myself." Life did not suddenly become easy for Ali, But something inside him had shifted. He understood that progress often feels uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the price of growth. Each time he chose discipline over excuses, he was shaping not just his future but his character. What once seemed impossible, waking up early, staying consistent, building a business, became natural because he chose action over delay. And that choice, repeated every day, became the foundation of his success. When Sarah first decided to change her life, she didn't aim for anything extraordinary. She didn't set out to transform herself overnight. All she wanted was to become a little better each day. Her life until then had been filled with unfinished goals. She started diets and abandoned them within weeks. She joined courses but never completed them. She wrote plans in her notebook that remained untouched after the first page. Deep down, she thought success belonged to people with special talent or luck, not to someone ordinary like her. But one evening, while scrolling through her phone, she stumbled upon a simple idea: big achievements are built from small daily actions. The words felt so plain, yet they lit a spark in her heart. She decided to test it, not by making a huge change, but by starting small. The next morning, she drank a glass of water right after waking up. That was it, her first commitment. It seemed like nothing, but it was the beginning. The following day, she added a 5-minute walk. The day after, she read a few pages of a book. Slowly, these tiny steps became part of her routine. Weeks passed, and those little actions began to add up. The 5-minute walk turned into a 30-minute jog. The few pages of reading became full chapters. She started writing down her thoughts every evening, which helped her stay focused. None of these things were dramatic on their own, but together they began reshaping her life. The best part was that she no longer felt overwhelmed. She didn't need to chase perfection or make impossible promises. All she had to do was show up for herself every single day. And that consistency, as simple as it seemed, gave her confidence. Months later, Sarah looked back and realized how far she had come. Her health had improved, her knowledge had grown, and her mindset had shifted. The habits that once felt small had built a solid foundation. People around her noticed the difference too. Her colleagues saw her energy rise, her friends admired her discipline, and even her family drew inspiration from her quiet determination. One friend asked, "How did you manage all this? Did you follow a strict plan?" Sarah smiled and replied, "No, I just made sure I didn't miss the little things every day." Her journey was a reminder that lasting transformation doesn't come from sudden bursts of effort. It comes from steady, repeated actions that slowly, but surely, shape a person's character and future. She understood that success is not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day, no matter how small. By the end of the year, Sarah was living a life she once thought was impossible. Not because of one big moment of change, but because she had learned the quiet power of being consistent. And that was the true secret behind her success.